Catch Me on the Exhale podcast. This is all about two 40-something-year-old besties who unknowingly but simultaneously took a deep dive into the land of mind and body. Listen as we abbreviate our self-care journeys and turn overwhelm into manageable and practical tools for everyday use.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's episode 3. We are so excited to be with you guys today. We're talking about bits about your lady bits.
Best name ever.
I'm very excited. There's so many names and so many things to say. But who actually talks about vaginas? Well, we're going to talk about them today because half the population has them and you can find very little information about them. Like, let's be straight up honest. Okay?
Save the vag.
So today we're going to talk about how exercise, hydration, condoms and lube, and use it or lose it are the most important things that you're going to need to know about your vagina, or anybody's for that matter. All right.
I can't.
You can do this. I know you can do this.
What are you grateful for today?
Oh gosh, I forgot. Okay. Today I am grateful for fans, air conditioning, and pools. Just kidding.
That was my gratitude. So I was grateful for Amazon having fans in the cart right now for me to order the second we're done.
There's something wrong with us.
There really is.
All right, so let's get to it. Let's talk about it. So as you start to get older, as we start to get older, I love the face. Things start to happen down there that you got to start to deal with. And so we want to talk about what are some of the things you can do to help age gracefully. Remember we looked up all the words that people use for vagina. It's like lady bits and
oh my goodness.
It was like we had a whole list,
there were
right?
so
there was
many.
like a million words. So we're going to talk about what are some of those things that you can help yourself, right? It seems like it's one of those topics that most people don't really want to talk to their healthcare professionals about either. You know, like, I don't know about you, but whenever I go to the doctor and they ask, I'm always like, yeah, everything's fine. Everybody's fine. I'm fine. You fine? I'm fine. So I just wonder if some of us are not getting the information we need.
A vagine.
About the vagine. All right. So we know that as you age, all of your body parts age. And so some things start to occur with your vagina that you probably are going to need to address. We do see once you get into your 30s that you have a decrease in your libido, sometimes due to like increased responsibilities. Like there is that correlation between your brain and your body connection. You know, you start feeling overwhelmed with like whatever, kids or job or mortgage or, you know, caring for parents or all those things, right? And that actually does have a impact on your libido, which is super important for your vaginal health. In fact, it's important to use it or lose it, which is what we were discussing before, that the more your vagina is active, the healthier it is, actually, believe it or not. So a couple of tips as you start getting into your 30s and then ultimately your 40s. What do you got for me? I know you have tips.
I have some tips. So definitely use condoms to avoid, if you have different partners or if you have the same partner, you definitely want to avoid that bacteria regardless. So water or silicone-based lubricants on those condoms are best. And even if you're not using a condom, use lubricants and make sure they're water or silicone-based. Stay hydrated, stay in motion, so exercising.
I feel like exercise continually comes up for us for
yeah.
like everything, mental health, cardiovascular health, your sexual health, like all of these things. So everybody should be doing something, walking, running, biking, yoga, Pilates, do all the things.
All the things.
Super important.
Eat your age. So healthy functional foods, less calories a day. I think you have a tip down here about something about the vajayjay and fat. So I'll leave that for you. But we do want we want to be a healthy weight, us women. And then we want to stay hydrated as well. Did I say stay hydrated?
I think you did.
I think I did. I repeated myself. So, I'm too concerned because I looked up the other words for a vagina. So now I'm on that. I'm like a little kid. But go ahead.
We did look it up the one day, and we were like kind of giggling because we're like, we know all these words.
Yeah.
Like idiots. So as you get even older, right? So those tips are awesome for your entire life. Like, you know, obviously eating healthy, functional foods, things that are good for you, hydration, all that fun stuff. But as you start to get even older, into your 40s, when you are no longer technically in the prime, right, of childbearing age and all that fun stuff. Actually, once you turn 35, I think I literally was 35 when I was pregnant with Rachel, and the doctor was like, "Oh, now you're advanced maternal age," because at the beginning of the pregnancy, I was not yet 35, and then by the end of the pregnancy, I was 35. But whatever. So that's what doctors say is advanced maternal age, whatever. But as you get into your 40s, you probably start to notice some other things that are going on. And the interesting thing about that is that you are actually losing fat in your vagina, but you want to lose fat in all the other parts of your body, but you can't. And the place that you don't want to lose fat, you're actually losing fat, which is important because it causes other problems with like dryness and things like that. So that keeping your your nutrition appropriate helps with that. So the other thing that's really super important that we didn't mention before, which we had just talked about, was Kegels. Yeah. So I'm like 50-50 on the Kegels thing, in terms of like what it does. I don't understand like the whole, I understand how it works and what you're supposed to do and stuff, but I just wonder if like what the real impact is, until I started reading about it. And then I was like, oh, it's like a huge impact. It's like any other muscle. You have to like use the muscle. So like the use it or lose it is what we're talking about.
Yep.
So if you're not flexing that muscle, then you're going to start to see atrophy and all kinds of other issues. So Kegels is really important. Go ahead. I see you.
The one thing I want to say about the Kegels that I just learned though is the way to find out that you're doing a Kegel appropriately is if you can stop your urine midstream.
So like go in the bathroom, sit down, try to go.
Yeah.
And see if you can stop yourself. And then that's the feeling you should have when you're doing a Kegel. Yeah. If you can stop your urine midstream, then you're doing a Kegel appropriately. Interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that all these years. Well, I feel like everybody's, I don't know about you, but like when I, was pregnant and then had Rachel, the doctor's like, oh, you should just do Kegels and that'll help with your, whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, sure. But what is that? What is how do I know that that's a thing and that I'm doing it right? But obviously, there you go. If you can stop your urine midstream. Yep. The other thing that I read is that exercises like Pilates and bar, which focus on your core and pelvic strength, is also a great option. So if you're somebody who's not interested in going into the bathroom and like seeing if you're doing your Kegels right, but you want to improve your core and pelvic strength, those two types of exercise, Pilates and bar, are designed to help with your pelvic strength because of what you're trying to do in those exercises. So just a suggestion if you're not like a Kegels person. So there are obviously a bunch of other things we could talk about in terms of what are some of the scary things that happen to you. But we're not going to like freak anybody out, and we don't want to really get like too deep into the you guys should have been here before listening to us because we were getting deep into the crazy things. But there are some things that you should stay away from to improve or to maintain your vaginal health. Apparently, they are vag assassins. So, number one, we know that Gwyneth and Goop say that you should try vaginal steaming. This is a bad thing, a no-no, according to Prevention Magazine and some pretty high-profile gynecologists. I couldn't think of the word. like having a brain fart. They pretty much said that it changes your, it can cause some problems internally. It can change the flora in your vagina, and there can be some issues with that. So stay away from that. The other thing is avoid UFOs, which are unsanitary foreign objects. There are certain things that can go into your vagina. Obviously, we can make a whole list, right? Tampons, toys, not like Matchbox toys, but you know what I mean.
Just waiting for clarification.
Methods of birth control, menstrual cups, things like that. But things that are not made for and not made with sanitary substances, you obviously don't want to use in your vagina. The other thing is you should avoid self-medicating when you have some kind of infection or some kind of indication of an infection, right? So apparently, and we just learned this today, that there are people in the world, and we do not recommend this vag assassin at all. In fact, Christina and I are like blown away that this is a thing. But people actually take a clove of garlic and put it in their vagina, which is supposed to help with yeast infections. Okay, don't do it. There's plenty of evidence out there that it is number one, it's not helping. Number two, you don't know what it could potentially be doing on the inside.
It can cause more harm than good.
Right, exactly. So. And evidently people use oils like tea tree oil to combat yeast infections. That is also supposedly really, really bad, because if you think about it, obviously oils have a variety of different levels of pH and things like that. And so if you're putting that inside of you, it could potentially be causing like burns or changing your chemical makeup inside, right? Like the flora that's in your vagina, which is super important. It's just like, it's like any other microbiome, right? So like your stomach has its own microbiome, like so does your vagina. You don't want to mess with it. And thus the fourth and final vag assassin, which is douche. Don't douche. Don't douche. Don't douche. No matter what it is, nobody wants, I mean, I guess maybe some people want their vagina to smell like the tropical breeze or like, I don't know, a pina colada, but like, why?
It shouldn't.
Why?
It should never smell like that.
No, that's not what it was meant to smell like, I don't think. I mean, good gravy. So, that's basically the bits about your lady bits, I guess.
The only recommendation for cleaning is a nice, gentle, super sensitive soap, if anything.
Unscented.
Yes.
Water and unscented soap.
Yes.
That's what you should use. So basically, eat food that's good for you. I feel like we say the same things over and over for all the parts, right? Eat things that are good for you. Drink lots of water. Make sure you're moving your body. And don't use foreign, strange substances.
And use it so you don't lose it.
There you go. Use it so you don't lose it.
Yeah.
I like
that. Hey, so can I go over some of these?
Yeah, please. Talk about it.
So acceptable up until the age of 10. After that, it's a bit strange. A foof.
Oh, wait. I do have something. Keep going. Tell me more.
Minky.
Minky.
Mary Ellen. I've never heard of that one.
No.
A flower.
Oh, the flower, yeah.
If 80s Monica from Friends used to say it, chances are modern day you shouldn't be. A box. Penis fly trap.
Oh, gross. Okay, that was gross.
All right. I'm not going to say that one or that one. A front bottom. We've heard that before. I don't know. A whispering eye. Lady garden.
Oh, God.
Nunu. Makes you see that hovering thing from Teletubbies in a whole new light, doesn't it?
Oh, God, I can't. All right, you have to stop.
So okay, listen, I'm done. So go ahead.
All right, in all honesty.
An axe wound.
Oh, God. In all honesty and seriousness, though, I do have a PSA that I have to say when we're talking about this. And it's something that I feel very strongly about. My sister and I talk about it all the time. So she deals with a lot of like kind of horrible used to deal with a lot of horrible things like in her job and dealing with, you know, kids and, you know, sexual assaults and things like that. The one thing that I will say, if you are a parent of a small child, teach your kids to use the proper language about their parts and the parts of other people.
Yes.
Because when they are trying to express themselves or explain about things, they should be using like the appropriate language so that if, God forbid, anything ever were to happen, that they would be able to express themselves and say, I don't want you to touch that, like, you know, and not there be no, you know, misunderstandings about what's going on. But anyway, I know that was like a real Debbie Downer type of thing, but it's super important that our next gen knows what their parts are called.
Well, I think it's important to take away the stigma of talking about all this stuff too.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You know,
yeah,
parents should be having open conversations about,
yes.
no matter how uncomfortable it is, we need to talk about this stuff. Maybe not go on a list of what you can, all the names you
of
can
all
possibly,
the things you could be
yeah, that's
referencing.
like that's the kid
flower.
in me. Yeah. calling, you know, doing this, but taking away the stigma of having these open, honest conversations. I mean, we literally tried to do all of this research on everything about the changes that you go through as you age with your vagina. And there's such limited
information out there,
scientific based information.
Yeah.
And it's repetitive. It says the same thing. We know what our bodies are going through. We know what our friends' bodies are going through. But there's just not enough out there.
Yeah.
And part of that is because how the world views it.
Yeah, well, I mean, just saying vagina. Is like, bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
So
even the fact that I can laugh when I say half these things, like that's just kind of, you know.
I know.
So it's sad, but, you know, we're trying to work through it, right?
Let's work through this.
Let's work through it.
All right, guys. So it was lovely talking to you about this, and we hope that you got some, I don't know, I hate to call them actionable items, but I guess they are. Hopefully you have learned something today or something sparked your curiosity and you want to go learn more about it. Good luck finding information. I'm telling you right now, we had a bit of trouble with that. So that's it, guys. Enough talking bits about your lady bits.
We'll catch you on the next exhale.
Deuces.